the meeting to order. Just a second while Augie, we're good. Would you join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to welcome you all this morning. Sorry we're starting a little late. We had to run down a couple of things to make sure we were prepared. Mr. Clerk, when you're ready, would you call the roll?
Ellis.
Here.
Farnham. Here. Lawton. Here. Luddington. Here. Patrick. Here. Brunner. Here. Voigt.
Here. Okay, everybody's here. Obviously, we have a quorum. We'll go to the minutes of July 12th, 21, special meetings of July 14th, 21, and July 26th, special board meeting. You've had those in your packets for a few days and had a chance to review. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes as presented? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to accept the minutes as provided by the clerk. Phil moves, Russ seconds. Assume you're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Does carry, thank you. Claims against the county, you've had those for a few days. Are there any questions on them? Any clarifications needed? Hearing none, I'd accept a motion to approve the claims against the county. Dan moves, Russ seconds. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. It's carried. County board member claims, are there any questions or clarifications needed on that? Hearing none, I'd accept a motion to approve. Andy moves, Phil seconds. Any other questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. That is carried. We do not have any highway resolutions today, so we'll skip 8. 9 is accept renewal of Blue Cross Blue Shield for group health insurance for the period of October 1st, 21 through September 30th, 22. Andy?
You missed public comment.
Thank you.
Did I? I
Yes.
thought I asked for
No.
it.
No.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Public comments, please. I had in my mind, and then I didn't say it.
Senior moment.
Yeah, a senior moment. Hearing no public fill downs.
Don't look at me, my whole wife's a senior moment.
Sorry, folks. All right, Andy, on item 9,
Ambulance service? You got something else you said.
I said Blue Cross Blue Shield. You're the committee.
Right.
Did I skip something else?
Well, I don't know where
Public
you are.
comment, then highway, then I read off the accept approval or renewal of Blue Cross Blue Shield.
You're the wrong order.
Here's the wrong packet.
You got last
Hey,
month.
hey,
That was last month.
There's
you
your
got
senior
your own
moment.
yet.
Wrong.
Hey, I feel better now. At least I know where I'm
Everything's the
at.
same up until that point. Okay. I'm like, look at
Senior
this.
moment.
Okay.
I'm gonna rename you Dan or Jeff.
Thanks. Okay. So where we at?
Your own.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're in the courtroom. We're in courtroom 2.
Yeah. You're with me. All right. Yeah, renewal for Blue Cross Blue Shield. Do you want me to go through some of the figures that we went through Monday?
No, I think just general terms, and then if they have questions, I think everybody, we
Yeah,
talked about it.
basically, it's down 20, I wrote it on the paper, I gave the Augie 22.38%, I believe.
2.8, right?
Was it 2.83 then?
It's 2.83, something like
You
that.
missed them by 20 and all.
Like I said, I wrote it on the paper, piece of paper, I gave it on.
2.56.
2.5.
That's what I said.
I'm sorry,
Okay,
2.58.
2.56.
2.58.
2.58.
You all right, son?
Got it right. Negative.
So it's actually,
2.58.
yeah, it's actually down from previous years. We had one year where it went up, it started out at 33% increase, and I think we got it down to like 28 or 3 that year, and it's been up, so, I mean, it's a reflection of claims and demographics of who we've got, employees, so it can go down if we work at it. I think maybe there's, maybe Kirk may be working at it a little to see some of the employees, in other words, the employee and their spouses, maybe working on that a little, didn't you say?
Well, yesterday when, and Carl can speak to this too, but yesterday at the Sheriff's Committee meeting, we met with Kirk Good. And he offered, we did not ask, he offered to take a look and see if he couldn't get us down a little lower than what we're at. Now, the family and some of the plans that most people don't participate, I think the total family plan was down on the PPO about, what was it, 700? 700. And then the other two HSA plans were down over $400 just on that. That was quite a drop. But I don't know, we haven't seen all the turnout because Augie and his office have sent out, just like we've signed.
Basically, it's sent out, so you don't know what's coming back.
Yeah, I think we only got, I think Tammy said she only had, what, 10 or so yesterday back, so we're not sure what we've got back and whether anybody's gonna participate. Yes,
I don't
Dan?
know if Lisa would want to explain, she just, what's the difference between the insurance that you had before the new job and the insurance that you got here, the difference?
This
Not,
insurance,
maybe she can't do that, I
yeah,
don't know.
well, this insurance for the individual employee is a really good deal, whether you take option 1 or the option 2. It's not hardly feasible if you're gonna put anyone else on it, but for the individual, it's very good.
We did ask about it, and Carl, do you wanna speak to what we met with him about?
Yeah, the main reason we met with him was the concern about the high cost of the family plan, you know, the spouse and everything. And he gave us a rundown of several other places that have, and they're all that high. You know, everybody thought, well, it's just, we're high.
It's just us.
But it's not.
not.
And he really wasn't able to say that he could get it lower. So that's just the way it is.
I have a friend, his wife was on the, I think she's paying $1,200 a month for her, just her, $1,200 premium.
And I know you indicated basically there's just two places, two insurance, either Blue Cross or Health Alliance.
That's all,
Right.
that's all
the
that's here.
options you have, right,
Yeah.
basically.
But we just have to explore, we're exploring ways that we can be competitive in drawing professional law enforcement officers, and that's why we're concerned.
Yeah, that was concerned because of a recent person that was applying, you know, could get insurance
Right.
through another police department a whole lot cheaper. But we don't know if the police department
Wow.
was subsidizing it or whether the,
And you don't know the out-of-pocket and stuff like that either, which makes a difference on the policy you have too.
Yeah, we could slash the out-of-pocket,
Right.
but then we get around the likes and we reviewed Obamacare, and, you know, some of the out-of-pockets are what, $7,700 up to
Right.
13 to 15,000, and of course, our out-of-pocket, I think, is, I don't have my copy anymore, but
4,000, I
it's,
think, is
it's pretty reasonable. I mean, obviously, it's still a hardship, but it's not catastrophic, so,
Once we give them 1,250
on the
on
HSAs.
the HSA.
And 350 on the PPOs. That's all gonna stay the same, so. Anyway, Augie and his office had to get out the sheets because we've gotta have it done by the 23rd or sooner. So we're circulating that, but we still need to go through this and get an approval to go ahead with that plan, okay? So,
You can't get up more than a 1-year plan, I mean, like, extend 1 year, maybe a 3-year or something, they won't do that.
No,
That's wonderful.
they look at what happened the year before and determine the rates based on, which is, yeah. which is
now
why
they
it's
used to
difficult.
could have done that. you know, 10, 15 years
Used to
ago.
be able to get like a 3-year.
Yeah, I know when I had it, well, that was 30 years ago. I'm sorry. 30 years ago, you could, well, I have trouble with time telescoping. At least I know where I'm at, Andy.
Not good.
Is there, did you want to make a motion to go ahead and
Yeah, I'll
accept
make a
it?
motion.
Andy moves
Accept that.
and Russ seconds, so further, I don't mean to get a motion to quell your talk, so
No.
if you have more questions about it, please. Okay, so do we need a voice vote or do we need all those in favor signify by saying aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay. It does carry. Okay, next is to authorize the chairman to execute an agreement for option to purchase on the former Vance School property. This is a primary site that we're looking at for the construction of a jail, and we're looking at the building as a possible other facility. We don't know. But it is something that we're asking the architects, once they're selected, to look at as a primary structure. We reviewed and looked heavily at the site across the street from the jail, and now we're taking a look at a second site. They may find that it's good, they may find that we should move on to another site, but we feel it's the next next step is the correct one, I think, and that it's simply an option, and that kind of locks it in case something else should happen. So are there any questions or, yes?
I think it'd be worth our time you went through all the problems with having it across the street, if maybe the public would understand and realize why we are doing the option for Vance as opposed to the place.
Doesn't mean we're not gonna go back there, Dan.
Pardon?
It doesn't mean that we're
Well,
not,
We can still consider that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that you read the reasons why that the one across the street was not that good, and why they were given option for Vance. It
does
might be-
anybody object to me doing that?
I don't know if you want,
I don't-
I'm just saying,
All I can say is that all those things that we talked about the other day, I mean, that site's got nothing but negative problem, all kinds of stuff.
Gary, you were there when we did that, weren't you? Oh, no, that was.
You were in executive session.
Oh, okay.
mean,
I don't know.
it's Not even close.
What do you
comparison.
advise? Is there any?
I don't know if
That came, we were in closed session when that was
we can't do
discussed.
that, okay.
That's all I would say.
All right. I'm
But I
just,
get a lot
I
of
mean,
comments.
we're not trying to hide anything,
No,
but
I
I mean, it's
understand
just,
that, Brother.
I mean, we're,
Eventually, when it will say what down the line when everything's all decided, then you can put it out, and say, this is why we selected this site over that site.
Okay,
People, they'll see that right away.
okay?
okay, makes sense.
I just want to say.
I'm not trying, I'll do whatever the,
I
yes.
think it's just.
Go ahead.
I want to remind you that you directed me to have professionals give you that what they think would be the best site, and that you're merely looking at more than one site. Leading up to that, this next group's going to look at this second site as you've
Right,
directed.
as I said, and,
And ultimately, they'll give the board their professional recommendation for you to act on.
Right.
That's what you told me.
right,
I think we're right on track.
okay.
That's fine.
All right, I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page, because I'll do what you want, okay? All right, that sounds reasonable. Further discussion of the resolution or motion to accept? Okay, I'd like a roll call on that, please.
We need a first and a second.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Phil is first, Andy's second. He'd already-
Now you ready?
Yes.
Ellis,
Yes.
Farnum.
Yes.
Lawton,
Yes.
Luddington.
Yes.
Patrick
Yes.
and Bruner.
Yes.
It does carry unanimously. Next item, make sure I'm in the right place. Action on donation to summer meal program. Before we do anything, would you like to speak to what you've done since the study session?
Right, I spoke to Amanda Miner, and she will be at our next study session with a more formalized report itemizing why it is that that program needs some assistance from us.
Okay. Is that
So we're
okay
gonna
with you
table
guys?
Yeah.
We need a motion to table.
I'll make it.
Phil moves, Andy seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Okay.
Jeff, I did talk to Janet, but I can bring that up at our study session, what she says.
Or you can share it now, either way.
She said that she would be willing to take it over next year, but she would want additional funding, whatever she meant by that, so I'd have to have her elaborate on that. She's out in Denver on vacation, so I really didn't have a chance to face to face with her.
But you did make contact with
I
her,
did
that's
make
excellent,
contact
thank
with her,
you.
Yes, and she is aware of the shortfall too, so
Okay. All right.
when it comes up with Amanda, then I'll have more information to talk to her about it.
She said you delivered those.
We don't have a
Yeah.
meeting till September.
Right.
The county, the health department.
Am I right though, Lisa, that it is possible that next year could be fully funded?
Right.
Because Amanda wasn't aware of grant funds that could be used, not only, they took
Right,
advantage
for the
of.
overhead.
Right, so it could
So
be a
Janet
move.
might be willing then if she gets fully funded for the program.
Maybe we should encourage cooperation between the two health departments so that
It
things,
would help a lot.
Andy?
Isn't a good, at least half of it or a portion of it is funded by a grant? If you apply for the grant?
Yeah, that's-
Isn't that correct? Okay.
Yeah, so it could be a moot point or virtually a non-existent one
We-
by next year.
Put money in, but,
Right.
I don't know, Phil, I thought it was interesting when he said he delivered meals for that program one time, and he said it was well worth.
It's
It's a great
definitely worth
program.
the thing, you see what the kids get, it's the best thing they get all day.
Yeah.
That's why when, people will look at it when they're not in school, well, half of them don't get to eat.
Right.
School's a good thing.
I asked Augie to forward to you the YouTube video that Amanda.
I saw, I watched that the other day.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah, that was really.
It was well done and heartfelt.
Yeah.
I know both health departments in Douglas and Edgar are, they've got a lot on their plates right now.
Yes.
But I think we just need to encourage them to coordinate their activities in both counties so that they can get the best possible outcome for the children.
This has to be done somewhere.
Is that video available for anybody to look at? Where is that?
No, I don't know.
YouTube
She
video.
just sent it to me, so I don't know.
It's,
Oh,
no, it was really a good video. I think everybody needs to watch it. I want to commend the people that own Track Shack on what they're doing. That's a lot of work.
Yes, 230-some meals a day, I think is what she said down there. I asked her one time.
Carl, did you have a question?
Yeah, thinking about this, here, after the program was already started and almost completed, they come and say there's a shortfall. You would have thought they would have had that covered before they even got, somehow, I don't know, I guess we can ask Amanda, did some funding that she was anticipating somehow from somebody did come through, and why now after, well, it's over with now. They're needing $20-some thousand. Just strikes me.
I think, yeah, she'll come, next study session.
23rd,
Where that.
or 24th, what is it?
that Shortfall is.
I'd
What
why
be
she needs it.
interested to see how much the schools system donates into this. I mean, they seem to me like they got thousands of dollars to build a baseball field and all that kind of stuff.
And they can't feed
Yeah.
kids.
They can't feed the kids. That bothers me a little.
The other problem, I don't know if it's a problem or not, but I think there was a lot more drop-off places this summer than maybe what she actually needed. Janet actually mentioned maybe just go to schools and let the parents come and pick up the meals, but I don't know if they can do that or not. We parents have
The
transportation.
problem with that is, we took them right to the houses. These people won't get up and go and do it.
Yeah.
They won't,
Well, heck,
We
we
have
just
to-
eat whatever we got.
we have to help the kids.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
care what it costs or what we gotta
I
pay.
agree.
It's worth it.
Other questions? Good discussion? Okay, the firemen up at, the Firemen's Association up at Chrisman would like to see if we would help them out of the hotel motel tax in promoting Chrisman Days, the 10th, 11th, and 12th. I think we have $931 in that account. They didn't specify, they said whatever we could do.
We give them 500 last year.
I was thinking in the past, 500 sticks in my mind, but
Is that enough?
Well, I mean, there were years, I think we gave them 1,000, but we had 1,000 to give.
Right.
We don't have 1,000 to give, so.
Have other entities asked for that money in the past?
It seems like somebody else did along the way, but I don't remember. Do you guys recall? I think Chrisman, oh, yes, the community club asked for it at times. But they haven't asked for it lately in lieu of the fire department is kind of the umbrella organization over the Chrisman days, and then like the community club and the sorority and the Legion and all these other groups helped the firemen put this on. And the firemen handle the advertisement and so forth, so.
So other communities, activities or events have not asked for it?
Not recently, no, or not at all. The community club was the last time, and I think it was, what, a couple years ago?
Did you say there's 900 in there?
There's $931 and change in there, Andy.
Well, and we've had more than that at times.
Oh, yeah, if you look on this thing here, I'm still getting, on fund number 833, it'll show you that, you know, we had 1,500 2 years ago and 1,700, and then we had, looks like 2,600 the year before that. So it is it sat there and nobody used it for years. So, are you, anything that I'm
No,
missing?
when you say community club, I know that's the spring cleanup, is that what you're referring
Spring
to?
fling, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're not having that,
And they haven't had that
no.
for a couple of years.
Yeah, not since Robert Allen left.
Yeah.
So it's up to you, you know, you can go 500, 600,
I'd
I'm
give it
sure.
450. I mean, I hate to bring that thing down
No, that's
to
fine.
nothing.
They'll appreciate, trust me, whatever you.
500 sounds better than 450.
I do.
I don't leave as much in there, but.
Tell you what. Tell you what.
Do I make a motion? to give
Absolutely,
500?
Phil.
I'll make a
500.
motion to give us 500.
And then Dan seconds. Further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, make sure I don't forget something here. I have something to bring up to you now from the airport, and we don't have it on the agenda, so, but we have other things to put on the, but I want to let you know what happened and get your guidance on it. We bid out the doors for the airport, the big hangar doors, because if you recall, I told you that they gave a price and it was under 3,000 or 30,000. Now what they missed, to their credit, rather than, you know, going ahead with it and then telling us later it was going to be more, we decided to bid it. Well, the bid specifications say they had to turn it into Augie's office as of 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Augie did not receive anything by 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. However, they emailed to Tom, and their email was 10:09 on the 9th, which was the day before it was due, and Tom didn't bring it up to Augie's office. So I'm not gonna make that decision alone. I guess that's a technicality. Augie brought it to me because, you know, they didn't follow the specifications. It was due at his office. Do we wanna rebid? Do you wanna just ask the state's attorney, you know, if we can consider that like a Scribner error, that we received it, but it didn't get to the proper, it's up to you.
Well, it's obvious we haven't got people beating down our doors.
Yeah, we got one bid.
We got one bid, so.
But we wanna, Augie and I always check with each other on everything. We wanna err on the side of being as safe as we can, okay? We wanna make sure that, you know, nobody can come back to us in 6 months and say, I would, you know.
And I understand the reason it went up. I mean, the door that they had, that they spec, it actually weighed more, so they need to replace the header above the door.
Right, and
Which
some
was
other
something
stuff,
that they
yeah.
hadn't counted on, so. You think we need to go to the state's attorney, see if that's all right to accept? I'm willing to do that if that's what,
Does,
like I said, I don't think.
Augie, do you have anything to say on this subject other than you're frustrated?
One bid.
I mean, we just need to deal with it in the open. And that way,
I'm willing to accept the bid,
And to
given the fact that they did do it.
well,
maybe
we'll
not
just
quite
check
like-
with the state's attorney and get it on the agenda
technicality.
because we've got to have another special meeting here.
Is it
pretty-
slowing them down from doing the work?
No, I don't
Okay.
think so, not at this point.
Okay.
And a lot of people, unfortunately, it's just like us, and we just don't check the finer points of it, but we have to. And if we know about it, we have to do it the right way. So, we'll take it from here, guys, and we'll get back to you, and it'll be on a future agenda to move it forward, okay? Does that cover it okay with you, Augie?
Yeah, I think that's great.
All right. Okay, anything else on the regular agenda? Now we move into officer and department heads. Do you have anything to add to what we're talking about today, Aaron? Okay, we covered a lot of things on Monday morning and we appreciate that. Adam, do you have any, you gave a report on Monday morning, do you have anything to add?
Now, the only thing I'll reiterate is all the AEDs throughout the community are end of life. I know county, other sheriff's department, courthouse has at least half a dozen, if not a few more. I got the official price quote. This is at my price, that I get better pricing than the general public can, and I can get these at my pricing. So to replace the AED with adult pads only, $1,540. If you want to add in pediatric pads, it's an extra $99. So the total for that, to replace an AED, is $1,639.75 per unit. If you do a group of them, there may be a bulk order discount. That's something we can discuss at a later time.
Okay.
We are looking at grant options. So far, I have not found any, but I've been in contact with the actual manufacturer to see if there are any options out there that they may know of that I don't, and they have yet to get back with me on that.
I think, speak for the board, and you guys will correct me, that we want to replace ours before they're expired.
And I just talked to Ray downstairs and he said the one up here is expired.
Okay, so please, we need to figure it out. If we have to use some of that money we've got in for other things, but if you can find a grant. But if that grant's gonna be a year from now, that's not gonna do us any
So
good.
I'm waiting to hear back from the actual manufacturer.
Does anybody disagree with
Yeah,
that?
so I'd say if the real, I mean, we can't wait even a month or
Right.
6 months, you know.
So if you wanna put together an order, tell us what we need here to replace ours, and we'll figure it out.
You tell me,
'Cause-
you tell me how many you want between here and sheriff's department, I can get something together.
Okay, that's fine.
I guess we need to check with the
Yeah,
sheriff.
Augie, can you, see what we need? And you got one out at your place too.
Yeah, I think we've updated it, but didn't, I know the Shaughnessy's had got me a grant last time, and I also, I'm just mentioning this, and I also know that you guys have an IPRF grant, don't you, annually?
Oh, yeah, the 70-some, well, we probably don't get that anymore, do we?
No, we still get that.
Oh, we
Would
do.
that be worth a?
Is that something we could,
Thank you, I'll look into that.
okay?
Yes.
I mean,
So, and there are a lot of governmental grants that I obviously can't see that you guys are able to see, so.
is there anything, Jill, that we can do through emergency services or anything?
Not that I know if we order some masks, we still have around $5,000 left in the donation.
Well, we could use it for that.
Left, like I said, when I called, it was like 5,500, we ordered some masks until I got mine from the state, and then there should be at least 5,000 in that.
It's a donation fund. So,
So I guess if there's 9 grants available between maybe what she might have, that safety,
IPRF.
yeah, that, we could help buy it.
that'd be 12 grand plus, okay, right? Because there's like $70-some hundred in the grant, and 5, that's 12, we're approaching 13. And, but at 16, call it $1,700 a piece, that's not gonna get you too many, but it'll get you started.
You know, do they have them in the SWAT cars?
I know some of them do, but I don't know how many.
And you're,
We'll have to,
Right.
maybe you can check with the sheriff and see what, and see if, they might not be expired.
yeah, they
You know,
need,
if they're not expired, you know, we got a little time to explore grants, but the ones that are expired, we need to deal with
right,
now,
yesterday.
yeah.
Soon you have a list of where they're all of them at.
So whenever this is one thing I've been working with the fire department on. I've got enough on my plate. So we purchase all the pieces into the fire department. I've given that piece to the fire department. They go actually out and replace the parts as necessary. They're actually the ones that go out and replace the pieces, but I'm the one that orders it for them. So fire department has the master list right now, but I can get, I'll actually go chat later and figure out where we're at.
Can you coordinate, is that, have you got the time to deal with coordinating with Adam and the fire
Certainly.
chief?
Certainly.
Okay, and that way you can make sure you either talk to Derek or Jeff and get that information within days. We're talking hours, because somebody could walk in here right now and, need
So
it.
it's not to say, so there's an expiration date on the pads. There's an expiration date on all medical equipment. The equipment will still work after its expiration date, but it's not recommended to be in use past that. So I'm not saying that it still wouldn't serve its purpose now, but technically after the expiration date, it's not supposed to be used.
Okay. Thank you.
So in a true emergency situation, that stuff can still be used now, but it is something that needs to be replaced.
Okay. I wanted to let you know, on Monday, after our meeting, early afternoon, I got an email from Jeremy on Ambulance District 2, and he sent over a sheet, and I'll make sure that Augie gets that out. I haven't even given it to Augie yet, but he apologized. He was on runs and he didn't get it, but we appreciate you providing what you did to us, okay? So we'll get that sheet out to you. Okay, Jill, you've got some stuff to tell us, I guess?
Well, first of all, we're holding our, I guess you would say, exercise meeting next week. We are meeting with Shiloh School to try to, I guess, coordinate with the hospital, sheriff's department, to try to do an active shooter drill at their school with students present. We tried this with the high school. They were not comfortable with doing it the way that the hospital and EZA and everybody needed to do it. So a couple of the Horizon Health employees, I think Jesse and Samantha, went to the Shiloh School Board meeting and they were interested. So we're meeting with the principal and whoever else she brings and a few others on it as a Thursday, next Thursday. We're also in the process of moving forward with our hazard mitigation plan. We got a grant, American Environmental basically comes in and does all the legwork for us. We are looking at having our first initial meeting, which all of you guys will get letters about October 5th. It would be like at 6:30, we're looking at the Farm Bureau building. After that, I said they'll have a few, they'll be spaced out, like there may not be another one until January, then March, and then maybe June. We have school districts invited, anybody and anything, drainage districts, townships, mayors, all the different fire chiefs, and all that kind of people will be coming. So that's about where we're at with that. And then now we were looking, and I've been talking to Jeff about updating our emergency alert system. We currently have, this went back, I guess, when Wayne Fiddler was coordinator. They took down the tornado sirens, and so they went with this system, it's called WINS. I have not liked it since I've been here, but we were under contract with them. Right now, we get charged $10,400, so that's in my budget. Crestwood School and Paris High School also use it. They use a Remind most of the time, but they kind of use us as a backup. They get charged, I don't know, so many cents per student, and then the rest of it, we split with the city of Paris, because they use it for like their boil orders and different things as well. So right now, average, we usually pay about $5,000 once it's split between the county and the city. Like I said, I do not like it. They have a lot of problems that are not, working with this system. Plus this year, they want us to sign another 3-year contract and raise it about $1,800, $1,600 to $1,800, I can't remember off the top of my head. So I've reached out to different counties in our region, found most of them are using this same system. I met with somebody on Friday and then again yesterday about the system everybody was using. And I really like it. Annually, it would only cost us $5,900 with like a $450 one-time setup fee. So even if we just split that with the city, it would be saving us, you know, a couple $1,000s for a better working system. So that's kind of where I'm at. I've kind of filled Jeff in a little bit. I have some information to give him. I would be happy for your guys' input if you would like to get a hold of me and sit down, or I could come meet you guys sometime. We just have to decide something by, I think it was September 1st.
Questions?
This other system will do basically the same thing. Ours, I mean, the ins and outs, everything the winds does. The only thing this one has is like, I don't know if any of you guys had kids in school or something, or the push notifications. So basically those would be free. And so you would basically text your zip code, and then it's like a number like 78911 or something like that. You're automatically subscribed. Just say you start getting like, you're like, okay, I don't want these anymore. You don't have to get a hold of us or, you know, get a new phone or whatever. You can text stop at any time and, you know, get out of the messages. It does have the reverse 911, so landlines will be automatically in there. It has email capability, voicemail, text messages. We can link it to social media pages, so anytime an alert goes out, we can put it on, just say the sheriff's page, City of Paris page, our ESDA page, and whatever goes out would automatically go out on our social media pages. I don't know, it had a lot of different things, I guess, better technology than what we're using now for a lesser price. And like I said, Vermilion County, Champaign County, I never heard back from Douglas County, but like all the counties in our region, Woodford, Macon, they're all using some form of this, it's like Nixle, I think is how it's pronounced, so.
Anyway, I'd asked her a month ago when we got those invoices in
And
to
like I said,
take
I
a
have all
look
the
at the
information here if
system.
any of you guys wanna look at it or whatever, so.
Carl?
I know the other system, when it first come out, and for several years, there was a lot of, you couldn't understand a lot of the
Yeah,
messages
that's-
and stuff.
Yes.
I assume this is a whole lot better.
This, I have not, like, they basically said they could set us up like trials and things like that. Jeff was asking like what the turnover would be, so basically they said the training would be, upon our availability, which is that we could get it done, like, we signed the thing, we could get it done the next week. There's unlimited users, so like, if the City of Paris wanted administrator, Ross wanted to use it for some, you know what I mean, like, Aaron wanted to use it, like, you could have, you know, administrators and stuff like that, but there would be, what did he say, 2 to 3 weeks, before it was all said and done and set up and all that kind of stuff.
Overlap. Yep.
Yes, but we basically could have everybody signing up from that 2 to 3 week period of time, so once we end the WIN system, they would already be signed up for the new system.
Yeah, there's an overlap so that we would not be covered.
And like I said, it's automatic, National Weather Service alerts, automatic Amber alerts, there was something else.
Does anybody object to us moving this way?
So like, we're just looking right now, and I said, I'm not.
Well, we need to make an action because we are being billed by WIN, so, and if we're gonna make the transition, we need to make it.
Right.
So, and we need to, the training is we need to make sure somebody from the sheriff's department, 911, everybody has an opportunity to make sure that we talk to the city and the departments that are necessary there, 911, to make sure everybody gets the training they need, okay?
And like I said, this just came up, we have our annual, they always send it to us like the end of July or basically somewhere in there, which we always have to call them and tell them, hey, our payment's gonna be late because, or I mean, never mind, we pay it, but we don't get reimbursed until later because we have to wait until like Crestwood has like a first full week of school to figure out how many students they have. I know Jeanette is out, however, I did speak with someone else at Crestwood. I didn't reach Mark at the high school, but Crestwood basically said they use Remind right now, but they would like to keep our system and pay for our system as a backup in case something would ever happen. I'm
Smart.
assuming that's probably gonna be the same for the high school, so it's gonna be even a lesser cost to us, if we still use it, so,
The thing is, we need a decent system.
yeah, we do.
Well, it's due September 1st, you need to make pretty much.
Yeah, so Well, and it's, I mean, we don't have to bid it.
Okay.
I said that we needed to talk to everybody so they knew what we were doing. And
And they
we'll
said
just
you-
proceed to get it done.
I said
Okay?
usually is our thing, and I said then they wanted to charge it, I think it went from 10,400 to 11,800, and they wanted us to sign a 3-year contract.
And
Like I
this
said,
new system is basically half the
it was
price.
5,900, and then there was initial startup fee
Right.
of like, it was 8% of the
6,000
cost.
versus 11.
It was a one-time
Well,
cost of like 400.
As long as we're getting a decent product, I mean,
Right.
you know, you can find cheaper stuff, but it's not always better. But that's why I asked her to take a look at what other or county governments were doing it so we could proceed. So, we're good.
And is it just a 1 year like yours?
Yes, it would
1
be
year.
annually, yes.
So if for some reason it didn't work out, we're only stuck with it for 1 year?
No.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. Angie, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. What you got?
I just wanted to thank the county board for paying for us to have CPR training at Horizon Health. It was a great experience, I'd never had it before. We got to use the AEDs and, Sean, who was the trainer, said that we could get the Narcan, is that how you say it? And that, to keep it on hand in case we would ever need it too, and they would train us. Janet said that she could also get it for us and train us. I would also like to thank Ray Cordy because he organized the whole thing. He's an asset to our county.
Thank you, Liz. Everything else okay?
Going good.
Okay. Hi Wyatt, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Do you have anything to, I know we're working on the solar ordinances, and I'm sure that Lisa would keep you informed, but do you have anything you want to talk to us about today?
I just wanted to ask if you guys, I know you guys have had the solar ordinances that we dug up from Champaign County. If you had any follow-up questions, anything I could send to Bloomington and get answers on, I should go through this process, so.
We're gonna try to meet the first week of September, our committee is, and then once we get something tentatively in place, then I'll forward it to you.
Yeah, that'd be great, just let me know what you need, and I'll run that up the flagpole and get you some answers.
Yes, Dan?
I asked the other day about a solar ordinance for the one in Kansas, you said they don't have one, is that correct?
Well, you mean in
That's on the Coles County.
Coles
side.
County?
Okay, but that's something we couldn't get, kind of look through it, does that make a difference?
I can, if it is posted, yes, I could look and see if they have one.
That's more what it looks like.
The city of Kansas? Or
Coles County.
I don't think they have one.
I don't think they have one because
No.
that project went up.
Okay, I just
Yeah.
wanted
Yeah, that's,
I wondered if that's.
yeah,
It's still
we,
going up.
Yes.
It is huge.
and it's starting to put pressure on us to have one, because like I told you the other day, a couple of attorneys have already called and said, what's
You don't
going
have one,
on?
That's what happens over there.
All right, so they have landowners that are interested in whatever, okay, so,
So, yeah, whatever you guys need on that end, just let us know. A lot of you should have elected officials dinner. If you're interested in coming, just let us know. So
what date is that again?
Oh, the 25th, I think, it's a Wednesday, so, you know, just let me know if you guys are coming to that. Other than that, just keeping our head down, working through it, so.
Okay, thank you, Wyatt. Callie, do you have anything?
I just happened to see it was going on, so I'm sitting here watching.
Okay, well, I didn't know,
Participating in
'cause
my rights as an American. Thank you.
okay. Good morning, Jonathan.
Good morning.
Do you have stuff that you would like to talk to us about, please?
Sure, I can cover a few things briefly. We had, I believe I mentioned it last time, unfortunately, the state cut our crisis response funding by $27,000 this fiscal year. They're trying to do some restructuring, and I believe they're trying to regionalize crisis services by kind of pushing the smaller guys out of the competition there. We are continuing to provide the service despite the cut, and we plan to do so. We are just about to finalize recruiting another part-time substance use therapist, which will make a big difference. Right now, there's no wait list for substance use treatment, which is really important for people that need that treatment. Unfortunately, we do have an impasse with our mental health treatment, except for emergency cases. The situation is that we lost one of our primary therapists, and which caused a shift in clients from therapists to other therapists, which then caused our system to basically be overloaded with clients that needed services. And that's caused problems of being able to accept people as they call. In the past, we've had open access where they could get services right away, which is definitely the goal. Our plan is to get the recruitment done, to get somebody in there so that we can fill those, or we can meet the needs. We do have two interns in process currently to help with that. HRC will be at the Honeybee. You'll see us there. And then in order to avoid losing a sub-therapist, I've been soliciting some donors to cover licensure expenses, CEU obtainment expenses, and what they call EMDR, which is a specialized training for therapists. The good thing about EMDR is that most of the time people are treated within, say, 6 sessions, which is significantly shorter duration than a typical mental health intervention. Because it's only 6 sessions, it allows us to treat a lot more people as a result, because we can help that person move on, help the next person. So it just increases our capacity, which is our main concern, is our ability to meet the needs. If you know of a foundation that may be interested in helping on the Edgar County side of that, I'd be interested in that. I haven't identified the right donor yet or foundation. Clark County, I do believe we've secured somebody to cover essentially 47% of these expenses, but that represents the amount of services that Clark County receives as opposed to Edgar. So they're willing to cover their section.
Any questions of John?
Oh.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, John.
I'm sorry, there's an obvious question I didn't mention. It totals about $25,000 for Edgar County.
And Carl and.
Is that the EMDR? Or
EMDR is about $5,000 per.
is that
Lisa.
the program that you were wanting to get a couple people trained, that when you talked to Lisa and I about?
Yeah, we already have 2 people that we can get trained. I believe we'll have 2 more next year we can get trained.
Carl, do you want that on the agenda here soon, or are you and Lisa ready to, pretty close to making ready?
Yeah, didn't we talk to the board about what we discussed with Jonathan?
Right, but at that point, we were needing something a little more formalized. And we were also talking about jail, a vision for services you could provide at the jail and what physically you would need.
Right.
So I think that's kind of where we left it. We felt like we had really narrowed down what we thought would be appropriate to help. We just need more details.
Okay. Because we talked to the jail about, or the board about something that we can do now to help you out. And then we also talked about, for the future with the jail. There was 3 priorities you had with the future jail, if that comes to fruition, what we can do. And yesterday we met with the sheriff and the chief deputy, and we passed all that on to them, and they thought that was a good idea, and that they would like to see if we could accommodate that, in the new facility if it ever comes about.
Excellent.
So,
Did you need more information on the jail?
pardon?
Did you need more information on the jail items, or just the proposal?
We were needing more information on what physically that would look like. Remember we looked at individual versus group.
So like size and stuff like that?
And we had talked about even the technical side.
Okay. So there's 25,000, what, I guess, repeat what that.
That covers several different things. That covers, it would provide a CEU attainment program to all of our providers. That's where they have to get CEUs, continuing education credits, in order to maintain licensures or to obtain new licensures. So like we used it for one of our new substance use providers. One of our most effective ways of getting those providers is to take somebody and train them. And part of that training is we have to make sure they get those qualifying educational credits. So there's a program called Realize Learning Management that can provide those. There is, then the rest of that money is EMDR and licensure renewal expenses. And the goal with licensure renewal expenses is to eliminate the loss of providers on occasion. That's probably once every 3 years that we lose somebody just because they don't come up with their money and get their bills paid to get their licensure. But it's also intended to make it a little more attractive because we're trying to get new recruits. I mean, I want to be able to advertise to my interns that, hey, we're going to pay for X, Y, and Z right off the bat. You know, if you get hired with us, this is what we're going to cover.
So that 25,000 includes the EMDRs?
Yes, it does.
And that, I think there was some equipment involved with that? and
There
that
is, yeah.
That's in that 25,000?
Yeah.
Okay. And then also when we talked about, you were talking about getting a educator?
Yeah.
I figured out what the term was.
Yeah, yeah, like somebody to kind of handhold our substance use providers through licensure.
Right.
Yeah.
And you still feel like that's a good need?
Yes. Yeah, I think it'd be worthwhile. It might, I was thinking we'd probably broaden it a little bit and call it somebody in credentialing or something like that, so that we could really use them, not just for substance use, but our mental health. And try to do more hand-holding with credentialing and licensure, really to try to, again, sink our claws basically into our interns. Really handhold and walk them through and ensure they get all the credentials they need to be able to provide services for our area.
And that will help with the, I mean, ultimate goal is the addiction problem in the county.
Right.
And that's
Yeah,
what-
more providers is desperately what we need to be able to help in that area. I mean, especially to be able to do some of the special projects that we really like to be doing, and we get a lot of requests for it, you know, but it's hard to have somebody, a substance provider, go, say for instance, sit at the jail all day to meet with 5 people. I mean, no one's asking for that, but we get these sorts of requests a lot, whether it's school or jails or wherever, where people want somebody present. But if we allocate somebody to that spot, then we're taking away treatment from, 30 people that they're currently seeing. So we really just have to have more providers in order to meet those kinds of requests.
Okay. Questions?
Anybody else? Jonathan, thank you. Augie,
No, I have nothing else.
nothing else? Mark is here because we're gonna have a closed session pretty quick, so. Committee reports, Dan?
You mentioned the voucher system on Monday, so I talked to Andrew, and we're gonna meet and work out the criteria for giving out a voucher.
Okay.
You mentioned, she has a doctor in Terre Haute, they'll do the spading and neuting for $60. And she's gonna have to talk to the vets in Paris and see if we can get a system where they'll accept the voucher, rather than have to transport an animal to Terre Haute. So we'll work on that, and when we get it done, we'll come back to the board. I know when I did my cats, the vet out east did them for $50. So, and the voucher basically be based on need, if we can get that worked out. So we'll work on it.
Thank you.
So with this program, are you gonna do cats and dogs?
Right. It'd be per animal. just not cats and dogs.
Right.
Cats usually are cheaper than dogs, so it'll be
Right.
per animal.
I didn't know whether you was gonna include cats, because, you know, they're,
Well, you almost have to include that, yeah, I
well,
think we'd have to include cats,
Why?
because people adopt cats and dogs, so we just got some of them with dogs and with cats.
but they, out there, they don't deal with cats. I mean, they do, but they pass it on to someone else, but, you know, animal control is mainly with the dogs,
Animals,
because of
yeah. I see your
what the
point
law
too,
is.
I'm saying that the bottom.
But with this, I agree
Right,
both.
right.
I agree.
It should be for both.
I agree.
Prejudice to me here.
We'll have cat processors here.
I'm not gonna take my 12 cats out there, I just, yeah. No, I agree, it should
Sounds
be
like
per
you.
animal.
Yeah, we just need to move on this as quick as we
Right.
can.
Yes.
So we'll work on it.
I know, that's fine. And Dan has kept me, he's made a couple calls to me since the meeting and since last week, so we're all good. Andy?
Couple quick things. They got back with me on the boiler. Sections to fix the boiler will be $8,000 to $9,000.
Each section.
No, the
Oh.
entire, and that's installing everything, but they're 22 months out. Or 22 weeks out.
Oh, well,
Okay.
Well, still.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
22 weeks, but that still puts you in the middle of February.
Yeah.
So, well, I said, well, what do we do then? He goes, I'm looking at what a new one would cost.
New boiler.
A new boiler. He goes, I don't know that it would be all that much more than that. He goes, but he didn't have any figures.
Can you get us on the list and then check and find out what the new
Oh.
boiler is?
Yeah.
Do both.
He's looking for a new boiler. Yeah, we're on the list, I guess.
Okay.
But we gotta do something for February.
Well, I understand, but I mean, at least, I mean, if the boiler winds up being $80,000,
Yeah.
I mean,
All right. And I don't think, I don't know. I'll find out for him. I said, is there anything used out there that someone,
well, what happens if the boiler pukes? Do they have emergency service? What are we gonna have? I mean, they're gonna say, well, we'll be there in the middle of February, 22 weeks from now to
Right.
fix it.
no, it's basically puked at this point.
I'm sorry, that's the technical term.
Poor
I'm just telling you. I mean,
Yeah.
Jeff went down, there was quite a bit of water in the basement,
Well,
so it's,
We're on the list
Yeah.
and you're gonna find out how much it
I'll
costs.
find out a little more, but that's the initial. And,
Simpler? What about Sycamore?
it's gonna cost you.
Well, we don't know how, I mean,
Um,
they may be able to repair it and might be in between. In other words, they want 86, but a new boiler's gonna be,
Right.
I
Is
I
what
don't
it
see
is.
where it hurts to check with them. What do you think,
I
Carl?
agree.
Okay.
Let's check. Nothing against.
No, and
But
we want
just to see our options.
Right.
okay?
Okay. All right. I'll check with them. Do you want to say anything?
Yeah, we got, and Andy and I
An
talked.
estimate, basically.
Preliminary estimate, which we are not going to release because I think we're gonna ask you folks to authorize us to go out on bids on a new roof for this structure here, the courthouse. And,
Roof, elevator.
and as separate bids, doesn't mean that we're committed to do the elevator, but we obviously can use the funds that we've got to get that replaced. So we need to, at least, you guys can accept one and get the new roof on, or you can accept both, but you don't have to accept either one. They're higher than they were a couple of years ago,
But not
extremely higher.
compared to what materials have gone up since then, so.
And they presented it in such a form that, Augie, you can just go down and take the numbers out and hand them the thing, and that's what they're gonna bid. So it'll be very easy to produce the bid document, okay? And the engineering is included in the bid, and they're gonna be responsible for that, contingencies, what else? There's a couple other things in there, but
Well, there was repair, there's replacement.
Right.
I don't think repair really, you need to replace that. It's, there's, Ray told me when we had a lot of these rains this spring, there's a lot of leaks up there. We gotta do something soon.
Can't be just a metal roof, has to be replaced with.
Architecturally,
I,
they can reuse, when they say
yeah, we
replace
use
the
a lot of
roof,
shingles.
they still have, they actually talk about having an artisan come in and
Remove the shingles.
remove the tile, what are they? The
Slate.
Slate. But if you just repair the roof, it probably wouldn't qualify for funding because it doesn't replace the vapor seal.
Right.
The
That's-
vapor seal.
That's the critical piece
Okay.
in that whole thing.
Now, you could put metal on it, but do you really want to put metal on it?
I don't know, I just wondered, would it be cheaper or?
I'm not sure it'd be cheaper.
It probably would be cheaper, but I don't know. It would certainly take away from the architectural integrity of the building. And the fact that they're gonna be able to reuse a lot of those slate.
Right, that's what I was getting at, never
I think it's
finished.
probably a wash, close to it, so. Anyway.
And
that's
you can
something we need
discuss with Andy if you need to, what we're talking about. Would just caution you to bid and be fair to everybody. We should have, we're in the middle of negotiating that and bidding it, so to release figures wouldn't be fair to anybody,
All right.
okay?
Need to get a copy of that report to the building committee.
Yes, I made copies, okay?
You got it?
No,
we just got
it yesterday.
Yesterday, it came through.
No, it's super
So
secret.
I'm gonna pass that out.
Yeah,
Well, I knew yesterday you said they.
right, but I wanted to talk to, I was gonna talk to both of you, but since you weren't, anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway, that's what's on our mind, that's why we would have to have a special meeting to authorize bidding that, so if it can be done yet this year, we could, and then we can deal with the airport doors at the same time, okay? And we tried to do that on the 23rd or 24th, to have a special meeting before or after that meeting, okay? So, you have anything else? I mean, that's a mouthful, so.
Jeff, can I make a quick comment?
Yes.
I'm probably behind, so I apologize if I am. If the boiler becomes an immediate need, is that something that could be, the language in your capital grant says?
Oh, yeah, we can use, either way, if you guys, the only thing I'm thinking about is, do we really want to put a permanent,
Right.
a big expensive boiler in
I
the new
wasn't
jail?
catching the timeline. What's 6 months out, parts or a new unit? You said a new unit?
That's parts.
Parts is 6 months out, new
Yes.
unit, and our experience, highway department says usually, if you have an old unit, you're gonna have a hard time ever replacing it. So if it's the board's pleasure, and your pleasure, we could ask the CEO if this is an urgent need, if that would fall within that guidelines of that capital grant that says HVAC and roofing. And have something probably answer, get their attention.
Well, do we really need to ask them?
Now,
That
this
falls,
is for the jail.
yeah, and that makes it even more eligible,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So, we'll talk
We'll
about
talk
that.
later.
But the board needs to understand is we can probably come up with those funds outside of the current 100 budget, okay? And then we'll see, all right? What's the fastest and most expedient, okay?
I asked him also, is there any value in a used one if 3 years down the road, we don't need the new one anymore? 'Cause he said, well, there are, and I said, well, then, see if there's any used ones.
Can we lease one?
But, yeah.
You need to write repairman in there, but you need.
Thank you, though, you were correct, I hadn't even thought about that, so. Phil?
Nope.
Russ? Carl? Lisa?
The HR handbook meeting with elected officials and department heads. I know that had to be rescheduled. Are we looking at a date?
I'm waiting to hear what would work for you, but no, we're
I'm
just,
flexible.
okay. Well, I know since we've talked, yes,
Okay.
you're more flexible with your schedule.
Okay.
So you tell me when you would like for me to,
Anytime in September.
anytime in September. Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, anytime.
Anytime.
Got it. I'll,
Sunday afternoon.
yeah, It would have been towards the end of this month when Bellwether could be available. So why don't I put them on notice that we're looking
Okay.
at sometime into early September?
All right.
I'll coordinate that with you.
Everybody good? I've got a few things for Don. You've got your cash flow sheet for you, and that's all up to date, all the accruals done, all the transfers are done, everything's caught up for the year. I talked to him about the accrual problems, and part of them were COVID born, and we talked about timing. And next year, we won't have the accrual problems much through February when all the stuff will come in. And we're asking the audit firm to give us the actual accrual numbers, so all they gotta do is be popped in, as opposed to us trying to figure out some of it. So it'll be a much faster process next year. And of course, the tax year and the tax sale threw us way off because we didn't have the tax year or the tax sale until 21. And that's really problematic when we normally have it in November. So, at any rate, you'll notice that all payments from the state have been received, which is amazing, and it's been that way for the last few months. The report reflects the first distribution of property taxes, which was about $500,000 or 50% of the taxes. The report reflects payroll, the first payroll of the month. Last month we had 3, this month's down to 2. The next payroll will be the start of the 23rd, so I think the 27th is the next payout period. And then lastly, the budget sheets for all of the department heads and elected officials will be in their hands next Tuesday. And they'll have roughly a month to do their budgets for the FY22 year, or 22 year. You notice financially, I've never seen Fund 100 at a negative 315,000 ever. Have you, Carl? And that doesn't reflect income on an accrual basis of 3 months. So we're basically, I mean, not technically, but we're basically in the positive. So for the first time, and we've got cash on hand of about $3 million. So it doesn't mean we're flush, because we've got a lot of stuff to catch up on. And we're working on a lot of things from HRC to some of the neglect to the courthouse, you know, trying to figure out what to do with the jail. There's a lot of things going, but it's all good. So, at any rate, and I also got you a copy of right up-to-date budget, and it does mean something because all the accruals are done. Okay, I'm meeting with Don and his staff and Vicki tomorrow to straighten out some of the department assignments of expenses in the sheriff's department. We'll get that squared away tomorrow morning and move forward so it more accurately reflects what's actually happening, and get rid of some of the non-budgeted line items that they're using. Help me, Augie, is there something? That's a lot. But,
Oh, don't you remember you were supposed to?
that was the other meeting, remember?
Yeah, that was the other meeting.
All right, do you have any questions of me, guys? I think we're actually operating on all 7 cylinders, and it's nice. So, yeah, there's 7 of us, right? Along with all the department heads and staff, we're operating on 8 cylinders, so it's kind of nice. Anything else to come before the meeting, before we go into exec session?
Jeff, I got a bid list of AEDs, Chris Culver's sitting here.
Yeah,
Looks like Sheriff's Department has 3, 2 squad cars, 1 in the jail. Courthouse has 1, Highway Department has 1 that has been updated already. Health Department has 1, HRC has 1, so a total of 6 would need replaced.
okay.
And that Sheriff's Department list is just what we know of. I guess we need to check with them and see if they have any more.
Okay. All right, Augie, you got that?
Yeah, Tell me that again, while I was writing. Courthouse has.
Courthouse has one.
Yep.
Sheriff's Department has 3 that I know of.
Yep.
Highway Department has 1, HRC has 1.
Got it.
And Health Department has 1.
I mean, church would be part of that. Okay.
Okay, well, you guys coordinate that and we'll get them on order. See if we can't get a better price combined with the city or whatever, to see if we can't bring those.
Several as well.
Right, so, okay, that's good. I would accept a motion to go into executive session for the purposes of land acquisition and pending litigation. Okay, then we'll come out, and we do have a line item, don't we, on accepting that, accepting a settlement. So we will be coming out and acting on that one item, okay? Motion by Andy, seconded by Phil. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. We'll take a quick little break, and if you have... Okay, we're back into open session. Item 16 is to approve settlement of Atterbury versus Edgar County Sheriff's Department et al. You've heard the explanation.
People outside,
Oh, yeah, I guess if there's anybody outside.
I think,
I don't think Gary's there, but,
You told him about it.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't tell him I was gonna be there.
no, but, oh, here he is, yeah, he's there. Sorry, Gary, I thought you
I
left.
saw him last year.
Okay, item 16, approved settlement of Atterbury versus Edgar County Sheriff's Department et al. You've heard the state's attorney explain about the settlement. It's for roughly $4,000 or $4,500. Is there a motion to approve that settlement? Andy moves, Dan seconds. Is there any further discussion? Augie, would you call the roll when you have a chance?
Ellis.
Yes.
Farnum.
Yes.
Lawton.
Yes.
Ludington.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
And Bruner.
Yes.
Okay, so that's that, and we understand the rest. Is there anything else to come before the meeting? We're gonna have a sheriff's committee meeting next week on Thursday out at the sheriff's department, or out at the highway department. Andy and Carl, that'll be at approximately 5:30. And Augie, if you would see that we get posted on that, 5:30, sheriff's
A
committee.
special meeting, or, okay.
It's just for your committee, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay.
okay? Yeah, I mean, it's, okay, motion to adjourn, please. Andy moves. I'm sorry, Russ seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Okay, we have